Hello friends. Welcome back to the S3 Cloud Hub. In the last session, we have seen, what is Docker image? Now in this session, we are going to explore the Docker image with a little more depth. So without any further ado, let's get start the session. So first up, let's bring back our definition of the Docker image. Docker images are read-only templates, with instructions for creating a Docker container. This offer gives image instructions. Docker will run the image, and then create the relevant container, with any specified dependencies and libraries within the image. Yet this begs the question, where are those instructions defined, and how do we define them to add our own instructions? So the instructions for these images, that create container images, are outlined within a special kind of file, called the Docker file. The Docker file is a text document, that contains various commands, that you would use within Docker, on the command line to build a container image. For example, it includes commands to specify the base image, that you want to base your container off of. Now in the command line, in order to do that, use a command like a docker create, which allows you to use an image, and create a container based off of Ubuntu for example. Now in a Docker file, in order to specify the base image, you would use the firm keyword to achieve the same effect of creating an Ubuntu, or Ubuntu container. Notice that keywords in the Docker file are pretty distinguishable, because of their all uppercase, scream case syntax. Another example is the command argument, that you would supply as the last option, to create on the command line. In order to give containers a default command like, bash for Ubuntu. Now in a Docker file, you use the cmd keyword. Docker files have pretty of additional commands, like copy all uppercase, or run all uppercase, to start running a command within the container, and to copy files into a container. So these Docker files are the backbone behind the imaging system of Docker, and therefore they're the secret source of Docker containers. And since containers are the main dish of the Docker entry, this makes Docker files the key ingredient. All the published images on Docker Hub will have a relevant Docker file, which defines how that container image was created. So let's look at Docker Hub, and check out some examples of the Docker files hosted there. So if you go to hub.docker.com/explorer, we're gonna see the official repositories for images that Docker Hub officially supports. So back on the list of images, let's choose one to dive more deeply into. Now let's look at this, Nginx Ubuntu, which is a very popular web server that definitely has a lot of support from the Docker community, as well as a high usage rate. So we're going to click on one of these image tags. How about Alpine over here, says we click on this. It will link us to a file on github.com, which is a Docker file. And as you'll see, there is a lot of information, which tells us how the image was created. So we have that from command, and that run command, and well as some various other commands which we'll look at in a moment. And this is a particularly long example. There again, is the copy command, and the cmd command, typical of Docker files to have. So great, as you can see there seems to be a lot to do with setting up the container, with software installations here as well. And now we've discovered the relevant setup, to build for this official Nginx image. So the fact that, all of these images link to a tag over here, with a Docker file, means that we have now a lot of examples to work with, to learn from, and to find best practices for. And overall, it'll just give you more insight into the number of extra dependencies and libraries a particular image needs in order to build. Alright, now that we've explored Docker files more deeply, I hope you all guys are now clear with it. So guys, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. I will see you in the next lecture. If you have any question or any doubt, feel free to ask in the comment section below. I will answer you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. Bye and have a nice day.